think,
Hello, everyone. Today I have Akua. Thank you so much for being here.
hi, thank you.
Yeah, so I met you in the Hail Mary open mic.
Yes.
The one who hosted is Rio.
Mhm.
How did you get to be in the Hail Mary open mic?
I just asked Jason Oxhorn, who is a great comedian, cool guy. I just said, how do I apply? And he's like, talk to Rio. So they gave me a run through. They let me try, and I did pretty decently. And they said, well, if you think you can host every Friday, then you got the job. So I was like, great,
That's
yay.
what do you think is the difference between hosting and doing your set or doing comedy set?
Hosting, I think, is more, you have to pay more attention. There's a lot of things happening. You have to time properly. I like to spotlight for Zoom so that the image doesn't come in and out, just in case people are not on their phone or if they're on phones. So I have to spotlight, make sure I'm timing properly, listen, and also listening to the comedian, because I know for Zoom, for Hail Mary, I don't really do a lot of riffing in between folks, because we tend to have a lot of people. But when there's not a lot, I like to riff between, like listen to what they said, kind of play off of what they did in their set, um, which sometimes distracts me. And I'm like, oh wait, I got I got a time now. I got a spotlight now.
Yeah,
so, so it's like a lot of mechanisms happening on the Zoom. I haven't hosted live yet because I'm now hosting the Laughing Buddha on Friday nights Zoom open mics. So there I get a chance to riff a little bit more because we don't have as many people as in Hail Mary. So the last couple of nights, it's been like no more than 8 or 9 people. So it's been really pretty much the same thing. It's just now I can do like a little bit of in between, playing around, joking around, which is, it's nice to do. So kind of help me with, trying to think off the cuff instead of just being memorized.
how often do you forget to time people?
I tell them all the time. I just don't always start them on time if I'm not paying attention. I'm like, oh shit, start. So
So
sometimes
like
people,
you would forget after like 1 minute or
no, it would be like once they start talking, I'll start them. So I was like, oh shit, I gotta start because they're talking now. So so now I'm just like, now my thing is once I'm done talking, I start the time and then I spotlight them, because I'm like, I'd rather have you look at your face even though it's oopa up. And then make sure you're timed properly than to worry about who's looking at you or not.
because I mess things up so much. Like I feel like I don't know, I'm trying to figure out myself. So maybe I'm careless. I should care more. So anyway, um I forget to spot to time people, and then when they are in the middle of their set, I'm kind of lost. Like I don't know if they've been there for like 30 minutes or 1 minute. So I had one time Les. Do you know Les?
Hmm.
She comes to Hilmari all the time. So I didn't time here, and then I remember when she was in the middle of her set, so I was like, let me give her 2 minutes. Hopefully she been there for 3 minutes. So after 2 minutes, I give her after 1 minute, I give her the light, and she's like, I've been here only for 2 minutes. I'm like, what? How did I do the math?
Yeah, no, usually with me, they get more time. And so because I'll start them when they talk. Initially, that's what I was doing, because live, that's when they start your time. You usually start when the person talks. But in Zoom, you start after the host finished talking. So that's how I do it. I started after I talk. That way it's fair for everyone. Because some people don't start immediately. Some people talk even though they're not in their set. And that kind of gives too much time. So I start after I finish talking. That way everyone's even. No one's
Yeah.
getting more time than the next person. But I haven't hosted live because in live, when you host, at least what I've noticed is they start the time when the comic gets on stage, not when the host
Yeah.
leaves the stage. So that way it's fair because everyone gets on stage at the same time. So then it starts at that time. So it's different for Zoom. Um, but yeah, and then the technical difficulties on Zoom that you may not have live is different as well. So maybe the mic goes out live, but your computer shuts down. That's a wrap.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. I remember Les, she was like, I give her the right, and she's like, oh, this is for 3 minutes. This I don't know, it's 5 minutes. And then I had another person one time I destroy with the time, and I told them it's your time. So the guy was like, what this open mic, they give the worst service. It's like you go to store or to hotel, because he was like, oh, I've been here for 3 minutes. I guess I spent 1 minute saying hi at the beginning. Okay. And that was like 1 month ago. And
Mhm,
I was thinking about it today. Uh, Sometimes when I work out, or I would wake up in the middle of the night,
mhm.
and something will come to my mind that I fuck up with, and I'm like, shit. Why did I was working out in the gym, and I think about that time when that guy was like, I give him less time, and
All
he's
right.
like, I'm like, I wish he forgot. Because the good thing about humans that our brain try to delete as much information as it can. So
Right.
but I don't know if that person was depressed or anything, or he had bad day, and then I just did that. What do you think?
I don't know. I like one person I accidentally started too early. So I feel bad because I was like, fuck, I think I started him too early. And I was like, fuck. But I'm scared to admit it because I don't want him to think I did it on purpose. I'm scared. I just need to tell him. I'm sorry. But because I'm just like trying to, because we had one person that kind of went over on time. And Jason actually had a good idea. He had brought like a timer in to the session. But I kind of wish he showed me how to do it because I was like, that'd be easier for me. But he never showed me. So I'm like, I gotta talk to him. I'm putting it on Jason, but I should have just asked him because it went so much faster. Like it was in the Zoom room with us. But then I got concerned. I was like, oh, what if people are like freaking out because they can see the time? And it was like, well, I have 2 minutes. I have 3 minutes. So that was the only thing. But it was good. Everything went smoothly when you saw the timer in the Zoom. So I was
Mm.
like, I was like, maybe I should do that. That way everyone knows they're being timed properly. But then they freak out because they see the timer. So I don't know.
So I want to ask you, what do you think is that something that make people don't forget? Like why some stuff, if you do it to people, they will not forget? Is it about the amount that you hurt them, or the way?
Like forget the time or
No, no,
forget.
no. I mean, like some people will not forgive you. Like some people, if you maybe um, do something. I think about the timing. If you forget any one time, he will forgive. Like he will forget it, or he will say
Oh,
maybe she didn't do it in by why. But why do you think some stuff people cannot, or it's stay longer in the mind?
I don't know. I don't know. I guess it depends on the relationship with the person. Like maybe they feel if and the thing is, I don't know if we always talk to people a lot on a personal level. Because some of us know each other in passing, but some of us don't really know each other. Like we don't go to each other's houses. We're not hanging out after Zooms. We're in our homes. And even if you sometimes do hang out with people, I don't know, you may not always know what they're going through or what's in their mind. So I think we just probably have a fear of you know treating people misinterpreting our actions as, trying to do something wrong to them, even though that's not the case. And I also think comedy is so competitive. that people might misconstrue certain things. Like it takes a long time. Not everyone who's in comedy makes it. And if they do well, we're not all gonna be Dave Chappelle's, we're not all gonna be Chris Rock's, things like that. So I don't know if that competitiveness also kicks in and makes people think, well, maybe they did it for a certain reason, even though there was no initiative behind it. So I
Mm.
don't know. I think it's really a subjective thing, to each person his own. Because if someone gave me less time, I probably wouldn't care. Because I'm, I honestly probably wouldn't care. Because especially if I'm constantly doing the same thing over and over again, I'm like, oh man, like I just did a showcase and I messed it up, because I had just finished watching this documentary called Fat Tuesdays. They're talking about the rise of hip hop comedy in the 90s.
Mm.
And I had just finished watching the first episode and I did the showcase. And we only had one audience member, which was one of the girls' mothers. And I don't know what happened. I just kind of freaked out. I blanked out of my words because it was brand new set. I had changed a lot of things like that day because I don't like this. I changed this. It was horrible. It was horrible. And then her mom was like, yeah, Fat Tuesdays. I was part of that. And I was like, oh man. So it, it just blew my mind. So I don't know. It's just one of those things where, you just kind of get in your head sometimes and it's not that serious, but it happens.
Yeah, I think you are also responsible for how you feel about the people actions, because if you are a person who work out, eats healthy, live a healthy life, your take from other people would be more positive, and you would
Hmm.
be, it would be more easy. But if you are someone who has messed up day or messed up life, your take will be like more heavy. So
Right.
yeah.
And I have those days. Like sometimes I have to pull back and be like, not everything is about me. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone can't hate me. I mean, some probably do, but not everyone. I like me, so I mean, you can't make everyone happy. And I think when you know that, you kind of have to just be okay. I don't think you should go out there to hurt folks, but I think you should also understand that you can't make everyone like you, and you can just do your best to just do your best to do what you can do. Like no one's gonna think everyone's not gonna love my comedy. But hopefully enough do that they come and watch it and enjoy it and things like that. So it's hard because we're all different people. We grow up in different cultures, different languages, different ideologies. So, everything can't just be that we all think the same way or believe the same thing. We're not, we don't. So, sometimes you just got to believe it's not about you and, deal with your own feelings.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I think like about myself, like we have the brain, it's like how we are made, and then we have the heart, and we have some feelings that come from the heart, some ideas that come from the brain, or I don't know. And what's more freaky is that we don't even know where did we come from, or what's your take on
Hmm.
that?
I always think about it. I think, first of all, we're unique because we have yet to find other life in our solar system, which is already weird. Like I always think we're really on a ball in some space, just twirling around a sun. Like we are really just pretending like our existence isn't like incredible. Like we're just on this planet chilling. We have all these different people, all these different types of people from different colors, backgrounds. Even I'm just like, how the evolution, I know a lot of people don't believe in evolution, but how can you not believe in evolution? Even just to see the evolution of human beings from where we were, even from 100 years ago to now. We have at least pictures from 100 years ago showing what we were until what we are today. Technology evolution is incredible. So I don't know how some people can't believe in evolution when we are evolving as we speak right now. There's going to be some technology 50 years from now. I'm going to be like, I don't know what this is. Don't show it to me. Give me my iPhone. Like, like grandma, you can't, there is no iPhones, grandma. This is the Z phone. This is what everyone's doing. It's in your head now. You got to put it in your head. Like,
Yeah.
so it's just, I would love to know how we got here. I mean, there's speculation that, like, of course, there's the big boom theory. Like some asteroid may have hit Earth, or maybe there's an alien form that came here. It's just so many theories. But I just do think whether it's because we evolved on this planet, or another, species came to this planet, or I don't know, life just spontaneously happened, to not believe in evolution is kind of weird to me, because you see the evolution of human beings right now, just in technology and how we are. Like, people wasn't this tall back 100 or 200 years ago. A lot of people were really short because nutritionally they didn't have the foods to grow and develop their body. We have more taller people in this century than they ever had back in 1862. Like, if you were 6 feet tall, you're a giant, right? Back in 1862. Now they're women who are 7 feet tall, men that are 7'5", 7'5". Like, to see someone like that, they would be in a circus. They would be considered a freak. Now people are growing and stronger, and they've developed. So to me, I don't understand how people don't get it. But I mean, to each his own. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. It's what you believe.
Yeah, got it.
No.
But what also, like, when you talk to me, what keeps looks so weird for me is the different information that we are formulate in our brain. So
Mm-hmm.
you are someone who say that we are now getting taller than before. Maybe we can live longer than before.
Mm-hmm.
In Yemen, we think that humans were too big and they get smaller and smaller and smaller. So in Yemen, from the religion, they say that before humans were like their how to say, like how tall they are is like 70. How to call it in English? This, like this.
That, like,
The
height, or
distance,
the,
no, 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 the distance
oh,
from here
pinky.
to here.
The distance between your finger and your thumb and your
From
pinky.
here to here.
I don't know what that's called.
Anyway,
I'm not sure.
so they say that before in Yemen, the religion
Mhm.
said that humans before they were like 70 times like this. You know, like
Mhm.
if I go, did you understand? If I go through your body, maybe you are like 15.
Mhm.
Distance from here to here, 15. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like my explanation is very bad. So I hope you can understand.
Are you saying, like, the distance between your thumb and your pinky determines how tall you will
No,
be?
no, no, no. If let's say it's 5 centi from here to here,
Uh-huh.
okay? So you are like your tall is like maybe 175, something like this,
Mhm.
160. Yes.
Mhm.
So they
Okay.
say that humans before they were like I don't know, like us, like 7 times or 10 times now.
So back in the day,
Bigger.
it was smaller, but now it's 10 times more than what it
No,
was from here.
before it was 10 times how we are now.
Oh, okay. So we were bigger back then, but now we've come to be smaller.
So
So we
like
were giants.
we need to put yourself, we need to put 10 of yourself up, 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 up
Oh, okay, okay.
to be like some, so that's weird. Like, but I think that science doesn't prove this.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't prove that we were giant and we get smaller. So that's why
Mm-hmm.
I like to follow science because it gives value for evidence and for hard work. But religion,
Well,
they are like
mhm.
we were 10 times and people believe. Sorry, you wanted to say something?
Oh, no, no, no. I want you to finish. No, maybe the reason they're saying that is because of the dinosaurs. The dinosaurs were huge. And science is proof the dinosaurs existed. So maybe that's why they think they were giants because of the dinosaurs. Because the dinosaurs were big, they were like huge until the asteroid event, killed them off. So maybe that's where they're getting it from.
No, I
I
got
know
it.
I shouldn't even use that because they were like, see, now it's proof. But I'm just I'm just saying, maybe that's why.
No. It's 100%. So in the US, in Western countries, you guys think that we came from monkey, but in Yemen, we think that we came from dinosaurs. So it's just two different. I don't know. That's weird. And the other thing is in Yemen, humans still live up to the age of like 40, 50. Like in Yemen,
Really?
yeah. So first of all, there is no gyms in Yemen, zero gym.
Mhm.
And it's, I don't,
But
sometimes
so no one walks? No one walks? That's a form of exercise, right?
all the form of exercise is walking. If you run, they will think that you stole something and they will run after you. So you don't want to run in Yemen, you can only walk. And it's sad, it's so sad that people don't even know about stretching,
Really?
which is big part of my life now after I had back
Mm,
surgery, and how
mm,
important people don't know about stretching. People don't know about diet. Like they think that the
mm,
most important is to say in the name of Allah before you eat.
mhm,
Doesn't matter
mhm,
what you eat. The most important is to bring God to the table. Anyway, that's just weird. People don't know about diet. People don't like this. In Yemen, the best thing to eat is honey, because in the Quran it says
really?
that honey is heals everything. So people are
Mhm,
like, someone who has stomach pain eats honey. Someone who doesn't have kids take honey to be able.
mhm,
So it's weird. It for me to come from there and just to see how people live makes me feel like so weird.
mm. Well, I'm shocked that but I guess if the average age is still like 40 or 50 lifespan in Yemen, I mean, wow, that's a lot. Because I mean, there are people like in no serious, because there are people living up to 100. I just saw a woman on TV who lived to 103. And I mean, she's got all this family around her, so it's just kind of shows like the more you know, the better your life could possibly be if you can use the knowledge, you know. So, but I know there's a lot of stuff going on in Yemen right now. People are not really talking about. I had to learn through TikTok, but um, so do you think that also causes the problem? Because I know there's an issue with Saudi Arabia out there in
Yeah.
terms of what's happening. So, I mean, if you can't have peace to learn and grow and evolve, don't you, wouldn't that also kind of contribute to the limited lifespan? Because there has to be some kind of stability for people to have time to accept new ideas and new ways of life.
Yeah, I like you said, good point. So I want to take reply to some of them. So first of all, the age span is until 50 or 40 if you are lucky,
Mm-hmm.
because people in Yemen usually don't die from old age. They die from like
Mm.
circumstances and things,
Right.
like you are in the jungle. And second, I also like, I want to tell you what's like. Yes, the war is affecting Yemen. I
Mm-hmm.
want to tell you what's going on. Like, that's my take.
Mm-hmm.
The Yemeni people, I feel that we are, I don't want to say the word stupid, but there is no education. Like, there is no
Mm-hmm.
universities, there is class system,
Mm-hmm.
and people are religious. They still believe in the tribe, and they don't value what you did. They value your which family you come from, which race you come from.
Mhm.
So this is, I think, the sickness that we have within us, which it's like if you have body, this is the cancer, and the body
Mhm.
cannot survive with this like stupid ideas in the
Mhm.
brain. The second problem is it's sad because so Saudi Arabia, they sell their gas and oil and everything they bring from the ground in dollar,
Mhm.
and that increase the price of the dollar because
Mm.
there is more demand. If any country in the world wanna buy from Saudi, they pay with dollar, so they have to buy dollar with
Now, what currency is in Yemen? What's the Yemen
riyal,
currency?
riyal.
Riyal. Okay.
And in Saudi, it's riyal, but they sell it with the dollar because they have agreement
Mm.
that the US will sell for them weapons and protect them because
Gotcha.
the US have very strong army and Saudi they need someone to protect them. Like their army doesn't do anything anyway. So the US have this two things with Saudi that they sell their stuff with dollar, which is there are, Saudi is the biggest, one of the biggest countries in the world that has
Yes.
gas. And the second thing that they buy weapons with millions and millions. So that's what's going on. And I think you are right. Like Yemeni already sick with the stupid ideas. And now the war been there for 8 years. And
Wow.
it's the poorest country in Middle East. And like how back people in Yemen is that they still don't know about COVID. That's how back from the world they are.
Are you serious?
I'm being serious. Like that's what I'm telling you. Like for me, just being from there, it's different experience than telling you, and you are already shocked. So for me to be from there, it's like my every second in my life of existence is shocking, and that's
Wow.
how back they are. Yeah.
Wow. This is crazy. And I think, I mean, if anything, you can tell the difference between why maybe a lifespan in one country is different from another, especially if if there's no peace, if there's no stability, even within other countries, we're not, I mean, America, we have our problems, but at least there's peace enough for people to go to college, have jobs, be able to take care of themselves and their family. But if there, and that's why we can live long. But if you see a country where people's lives are not is not at the level of other people's lives around the world, there's more to it than just, you know, is more to it. And I do think not having some type of peace and stability is part of it. Because if you look at every place that has like stability, enough stability for people to go to work, have a job, raise a family, you'll see the population age grow up and up and up. But if there's no stability, there's war torn. It's war torn, and people are never feel safe. You never feel safe enough to say, hey, I can sleep at night and not worry about what's going to happen to me tomorrow. You see a difference, and it's hard. It's really hard. It's crazy.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
exactly. Like it's also crazy that I don't think age makes sense anymore because
Hmm.
in Yemen, like the women being like hot is maybe from 15, 16 to
Hmm.
30. Like
Hmm.
if you see women in Yemen in their 30s, it's like old. Like honestly, like
Wow.
it's weird. Like I would say that I see in Zoom some women like who looks after themselves. Uh,
Hmm.
you can tell that she works out, she drinks water, she doesn't go under the sun.
Right.
So I would see women like in from Canada, from the US on their like 50s, 60s, and they look maybe better than Yemeni woman that's on her 30. And that's we come back to arranged marriage. Like imagine like there is women they didn't even experience love in their life. They
Hmm.
have kids. In Yemen, if the husband die, some tribe they don't allow the woman to marry after her husband, and she must wear like this is the very very like not all the population, but there is like, let's say 30%, 30%, which
Mhm.
is a high number. They don't allow the woman to marry, and she has to wear black for the rest of her life. Like she can,
Her life?
yeah, in the house, everywhere.
So they're marking her
Yes.
they're marking her by saying no one can go near her because so she can be never remarried. She can never find another husband. She can never
No,
find love again. What if
no.
she didn't love her husband?
That's what I'm telling you, that women in Yemen, because of the so to have someone to love and like to love someone and be with, it's new. It's for the last maybe 100 years or 200 years. Like
Hmm.
humans never experienced like approaching girl, and I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Sometimes I say stupid stuff, but I think that what do you think? Like is like
I mean, I mean, okay, so this and because also I'm raised in a different culture. So I obviously don't agree with it because it's not fair. I don't know how the husband died, but she shouldn't be able to move on with her life because her husband died. Like I understand mourning him for maybe a year, but after that, I feel like if you even if shit, if you should only want mourning for a year, I don't know what the relationship is. But if she wanted to mourn for him and choose to do that, that's one thing. But to kind of mark her for life as an untouchable woman to me seems ridiculous. And I don't know, and I have to it has to do with my culture and how I was raised in America. Because in America, some people don't even wait to the person is gone. They divorce, you know, they divorce the
oh my
person. They already got a boyfriend a girlfriend on the side before they even leave the marriage.
God.
Like they don't care. They just like, look, it's about my happiness. If I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die happy. Like people here, they're just like, I'm manifesting my life. I'm not gonna be here in this horrible marriage. Even people even stay in a horrible marriage and still have a side chick, a side dude, and they're just like, I'm good. I'll stay in it because I can't afford the divorce, but I'm gonna have my girl and my guy on the side, my other baby family on the other end of the earth, and just be happy. And so I don't agree with it because it just feels like it's not fair to mark her as an untouchable woman. She's gonna live the rest of her life not being able to be with another person. Like who takes care of her at that point? Family, the guy's family takes care of the woman at that point because she can't be taken care of by another man, right?
Yeah, so women in Yemen, they're not allowed to work and they're not allowed to go to college.
Hmm.
They just like that's why it's crazy, because it's a whole, like you could read, someone could even write a book about it and you can read it. Because in Yemen, like the way we view women is different than the way, like
Hmm.
it's the same like the same human, like you are women in the US and there is women in Yemen, but it's totally different. Like yes, you have two eyes, she has two eyes, you have
Hmm.
here, you have, but it's totally different. So in Yemen we view women different. And back to answer your question, uh, usually, especially when the woman has kids, they will not
Hmm.
get her married again, and she would wear black just even to for her kids. I don't know. So her kids be like, my mom only fucked my dad, or I don't know. Like there
Hmm.
is no other guy who is after my dad die now having sex with my mom. So
Hmm.
it's just some ideas, uh, and these ideas people grow on it. So it's so normal to them as it's normal for people in the US, that the husband and the kid, like, okay, my dad died and my mom's having sex with other dude, which is, it's just different uh, view, which is
Right.
stupid, but I'm just trying to tell you how people think, and
Well,
people grow
I
up in this.
right,
Yeah.
right. But then again, that's a cultural thing. Like I've been watching this show called Love is Blind Brazil because they have more than one. So they
Hmm.
have the US, they got Brazil, and they got Japan.
Oh yeah.
So so I'm watching Brazil. I love Brazil. All right, I'm like, all right, got my couples. I'm listening in Portuguese. I don't know nothing about Portuguese. All I know is "sí, que lindo," and that's it. Ay, que lindo. That's all I know. That's all I know. And so I'm subtitling the whole thing, and I love it. Love, love, love the show. Now there's this couple, and the guy, he was crying all up and down the first while they were in the pods. Oh, I just want her to be with me. He was all up in here crying about how much he
My
wanted to be with
God.
her, blah, blah, blah. He gets her. They're talking because she smokes. He doesn't like smoking. He wants her to quit. She's like, I don't know. It makes me feel good. So that's one of the problems. But now they were talking about their past and how she has dated other men. And he was like, look, I might be sexist, but I don't want my girl to have been with a lot of men. He's like, I'm a man and I know what I've done. And if I was a girl, I wouldn't date me knowing what I did. And I'm like, damn, if you wouldn't date you, know what you do, why should she be with you? Like, what do you do? And, and he's just sitting there smug, playing his guitar. And she's listening like, what the fuck did I just do? Because she
Yeah.
had another guy she wanted to date, but she was like, nah, this guy is like me. So she chose him. And so I just was, and it's just interesting to see other men and women in other different countries because
Oh,
what we do a lot of times is we think, oh man, I have it worse here. If American men are so sexist, they lie to us, they do this. Here I'm watching a show where men are in Brazil thinking a certain way that I'm thinking, oh, I didn't think a man in Brazil would think like this. I thought they're probably more open. But he's here talking about I wouldn't date a girl who
yeah.
has been with a lot of men. And I hear a lot of men in America say the exact same thing. And even though you're talking about how women are treated, you might not see women be treated like that here in America or in Brazil or other countries, but there are probably men in this country who probably think, you know what, that's a good idea. And it's just interesting to see the take
Yeah.
of how people view women and even men as well. Because there's another couple on the show. The girl's a mess. She's a messy girl. She's beautiful but messy. But the guy he's beautiful and neat. He's a bro dude. If he was in America, he'd be a bro. He's a financier.
Cool.
He works out. He's blonde, blue eye. He's Jewish. He's a really cute guy. But he's very regimented. He works out. He does his work. He's
Yeah.
very clean. He wants his shirts hung up, his shoes placed out. She clothes everywhere, makeup everywhere. If it's organized, it's an organized mess. And he saw her house and she was like, oh hell no, this not coming in my house. He really was upset about it and they're struggling because of it, because in his mind he wants a neat wife and she's messy and it's stressing her out because she's like, if I'm not clean or if I don't clean up all the time, is he gonna dump me? And it's a real thing. He might dump her
Oh,
because he doesn't want a messy wife and it's stressing them out. Like everything else is good. They're both attractive. They both work out. They both look good together. I'm sure the sex is amazing. But this thing, right? This thing about being messy and being clean is now making her feel like he'll leave me because I'm not good enough and I have to worry about where I do. So it's interesting to just see these kind of dynamics happen outside of your culture, your beliefs, because you just realize we all grow up differently, but still kind of have these ideas that not necessarily always make sense or make things work. And I just find it interesting. I always do. I always do. But yeah, Love is Blind, Brazil. Oh my God, that is my point right now. I love it.
yeah,
Love it.
you should go to Brazil. So
It's like, ay,
anyway,
que lindo. That's all I was able to say. Ay, que
we should
lindo.
do this movie in Yemen.
I mean, you couldn't do Love is Blind in Yemen. Let's keep it real. Do Love is Blind
So
in
let's imagine if love blind in Yemen. First of all, nobody will see the women, but they will
Yemen.
see
No,
they will see only the eyes.
no, but you can't see them in the beginning anyway. But you're trying to say afterwards, it still be the same. You can't see them before or after you meet them, because even after, like initially, no one sees anybody. You all in this pod. You just got to do it based off of the feeling of how you interact with the person in the pods. Then when you're ready to propose, then after the person says yes, then they see the person and then they start like developing the relationship, seeing the person. So like in Yemen, it'd probably be different. Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I think my
I Your internet shut
yeah.
down.
Hopefully, it's going to be fine. Oh my!
Okay.
I don't know what's going to happen to the records. I don't know what's. We're gonna find out. But as long as it's
It's
been,
a two-parter.
yeah. Let's see what Zoom will do, how they program it. But we were talking about. So you meet they meet the people, girls and boys, in one spot.
Right. So like no one sees each other from the beginning. The guys are on one side, the girls are on another side, and they meet in these rooms. You can only hear the person, but you can't see them. So you have to try to like them based on who they present themselves as. If they're funny, if they're kind, you just have to talk to them and try to feel like you will want to be with them.
And you don't see how they look like.
Nothing.
You are getting me to watch this show. That's mistake.
I'm telling you, don't watch season 2 of America. Watch Brazil and season 1 of America. That's it. That's it. You just walk into a room, you just hear the voice of the person, and you just talk to them. And you just ask them all these questions like, what's your name? Where are you from? What do you like to do? And then if it goes to other types of conversations and you want to keep talking to the person, then you get to see them after that, but only after they propose to you, marriage. That's it. If no one proposes to you, if no one wants to be with you, you leave and you'll never see the person you talk to. You won't. I love it. I
But that's
love it.
weird. That's like when I talk to person, the way they
Mm.
look play big part and I don't know how to call it in English, but their face reactions when they are talking to me. You study that
Right.
person from this. So when you only hear the voice is a little bit weird. I'm like, if I'm talking maybe to my dad and he changes voice, and I like him. I don't agree with this. Come on.
But they do, because a lot of them said the same thing. That's why a lot of them were like, oh, I'm doing this is because every time I date a person is always about their looks. It's always how they look,
Oh.
and it doesn't work out. So they're like, whenever I see a person, like one girl, I think this was the Japan version, she was like, when I see a guy and he's good looking, I talk to him, but if he does anything wrong, I just be like, well, he's good looking, so it's okay. Like she never thinks about the consequences of the guy doing something wrong because she allows the way he looks to compensate for the wrongdoing. So if he cheats, she's like, oh, well, it's okay. He's good looking. Like, girl, you gotta let some shit go. But yeah, that's a lot of them were saying that. So they're like, well, let me just try this experiment. Maybe if I just talk to the person and listen to the person and eliminate the look, maybe I'll find someone I really can be with. But they're still having trouble, which is amazing.
That's crazy. But do you like because these people they say whenever I date someone it's about the look. But
Hmm.
maybe why you are going for the look? Why don't you date someone for the look and the way they speak? But or you think
Yeah,
the look trick you? If they are looking good, it's like
I mean, the look can trick you. The look absolutely can trick you because if someone looks good, you know,
You are
You're
like,
gonna
they
be
are the
drawn,
best. They are honest. They are really honest.
right?
I
Well, I
feel
mean,
it.
just because just because it looks good, Muhad, does not mean they are good. Like I'm struggling right now, and it has nothing to do with the person. It has to do with shampoo. So I bought a new shampoo for my hair. It smells amazing. Like I had my mom smell it. She's like, "Oh my God, it smells so good." But after 1 week of using it, my hair started to fall out. And I'm just like, and I'm not saying the product is bad, but it just dried out my hair more. And dry hair for my type of hair causes it to break off. I can't have like um hair products that dry out my hair because if it dries out my hair, it breaks off my hair and it won't grow. But it smelled so good. And I was like,
Oh,
oh man, but it smells good. Let me just try. Maybe it's something I'm doing. Maybe I'm not doing something right. So I still kept using it, but I kept seeing breakage to a point I had to like shave the back of my head. So I was like, you know what? It's not working. I know it smells good. I know I feel good when I wear it because it smells good, but I can't. My hair is drying up too quickly. And I used all the products, the shampoo, the conditioner, the leave-in conditioner. Then the leave-in conditioner started to smell weird. I was like, you know what? Just let it go. Just let it go. So that's why I'm saying just because something looks good doesn't necessarily always mean it is good. Because this shampoo thing was killing me, boy. It was killing me. I was like, I love how it smells. It's so good. But I'm like, dude, if it's drying my hair out, I can't have that. I really need a lot of moisture for my hair. So I don't know. I mean, and it doesn't mean it's all bad. I don't know. But it's such a great show. It's a great show.
that's good. I don't know. For me, if my hair fuck with me, I just cut it all zero. I used to do this before. I would, I don't know. I wanna ask. So every time I like to, first of all, I'm now worried because I hope I will have the whole recording because we cut and we start
Mhm.
again. So I hope the program Zoom to save everything. Otherwise, this company should pay us. We're gonna sue them. We're gonna sue them for our work.
They're already been sued. I'm waiting for my money.
Okay. So let's see at the end. At the end, we will discuss it. So every time I like to speak with comedians about comedy at the end.
Mhm.
Sometimes I don't at the beginning, but now I'm trying to do this because I start to have conversation and everyone is really cool. You are so cool. And I'm like, yes, like, because I hear you in hosting or doing your set, and I really don't know you. Like, you are exaggerating. And that's why I feel also podcasts are good for comedians because people get to know you and maybe
Mhm.
they like you through the pod. So tell me about comedy. Like, why did you started or how it happens? Like everyone has mysterious story. So what's your mysterious story?
I was at my job, which I'm no longer there at, and I was joking with one of my coworkers, and she was like, she started laughing, and I was like, haha, my next job is gonna be a stand-up comedian. Well, one of my coworkers heard me say that, and she's like, no, it's not. I was like, ooh, you don't know me. I was like, what? And I kind of looked at her like, you don't know me, lady. And so then when she said it, I was like, fuck it, I'm about to be a stand-up comedian. And like the next month, I went to an open mic for all women. And it went good. I mean, I didn't kill it, but got a couple of chuckles. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to be a stand-up comedian. So I'm so grateful to that lady now because her doubt in me just kind of pushed this. And I miss performing. I used to be a slam poet. And so I really kind of miss being on stage. And I didn't want to do poetry anymore. And I feel like there's more of a range I have doing comedy in terms of topics and things I want to talk about that I feel I'm kind of limited with poetry. And maybe it's just because I'm being limited because I'm probably limiting the way I do the poetry because I'm not going to poetry. There's all types of ways to do it where you have iambic pentameter, all these other types of forms of poetry you can do. Uh, and I thought, oh, comedy is just free for all. I can just say whatever I want to say, not to worry about formulas. And then the more I became taking classes and doing comedy, I'm like, oh, there is a formula. It's just not a free fall. Just say whatever you want to say. You have to have your setup, your punchline. So I pretty much got schooled in that through all these years. I've only been doing it for 3 years, but I've learned there is a formula. Like anything, any type of art, there's a formula. So I learned that quick. That it's pretty much the same as poetry. There's always some formula or standard, but I do enjoy it. I like making people laugh. And I just was in a place where I wanted to laugh. And I was just like, I don't feel like being sad or upset. I just want to have fun and laugh. And I just wanted to perform again. So I did that. I did comedy.
That's cool. Sorry, I just want to make sure I'm not taking much of your time. Until what time you can stay with me?
I could stay with you for like another half hour.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, and just like I feel like you are the type of people who I can talk for even 10 hours. I just ask, so you are not like, when this guy wanna leave me alone. He grabbed me in his podcast. I'm stuck. They save me.
No, it's interesting because I'm learning stuff. I love when I learn new stuff because this is so interesting, especially when we talked about Yemen. It's just really interesting because I love, even with like, because I did the love of blindness thing. I know it's crazy, but when I found out it was other countries, the first thing I thought was, ooh, why, what are they doing in Brazil? What are they doing in Japan? Like, I am always curious. Like, even Japan was interesting because the oldest person on there is 56 years old. And usually for dating shows, they don't go over like 30 or 40. Like 39 is the cutoff. But in Japan, they got a 56-year-old person. So I'm like, oh, okay. What is this about? So I'm just that person. I'm like, ooh, I want to know.
I think really, really, in Yemen, if they do it, the families of the participants will kill them.
Oh no, then we can't do that. No,
But,
Love is Blind in
yeah,
Yemen.
I don't
We
know.
don't want that.
it's
No,
it's
no Love is
like
Blind.
what's crazy about Love is Blind is that it's against the culture of Yemen. So it's like the show itself is against.
Wow.
So if they do it there, it will be like one of the craziest show you ever see in your life. Like number one, we have to plan for is how not to get killed or bombed.
Oh yeah,
You plan the
we ain't gonna
show
do that.
before they bring anyone.
We're not gonna do that, people. We're gonna keep people alive. We're
Yeah,
gonna keep people alive.
in Brazil.
Oh my gosh.
Cool.
But yeah, that's comedy for me. I love it. I love it.
You should. So I'm like, you should. I haven't been, but Brazil. They say they have. I don't know what they have. Like Amazon. Oh my God, the Amazon. Is it in Brazil?
Yes.
Uh, I don't know. Like some people, they say that it's like if you leave Earth without going to see the Amazon, it's like you are missing a lot. Do you have some thoughts about?
I hope so. I hope I get the chance to see it. I mean, we haven't been able to travel too much because of the whole COVID thing, but I hope so I can go see it. I like traveling. It's always I went to Spain to work on organic farms with a friend, and it was really interesting because like I didn't really prepare for it.
Yeah.
And when I went, like my parents are from Africa, they're from Ghana, but Spain is only like a boat ride away from Africa because Morocco is like right across from Spain. So when we went there, I don't know, I just thought we wouldn't really see a lot of people who look like me. And then we get there and there are a lot of people who look like me. But on top of that, they're all thinking I'm an illegal immigrant. We had so many people who, well, not so many, I'm exaggerating, like 3 people. 3 people thought me and my friend were illegal immigrants because she looks like me. She's dark skinned like me. And we went with her husband, who is Hispanic. So he just blended right in. And we went to the first spot, and some guy came to my friend's husband asking him if he can take me home because he thought I was an illegal immigrant and that I needed like work. So he wanted me to go to his house to clean it. I was like,
What?
And they laughing. I'm like, what is funny, people? I am not a maid, and you know we flew here. What is happening?
Yeah, he can clean your shoe. Tell him clean my shoe and I will pay you. How about you clean my
He's like, he bringing me back. Yo, he said he bringing me back in 24 hours. No, you are human trafficking me. This is not cool, people. And they laughing because he was old. He was like in his 70s or 80s. I'm like, this is just the fall guy view. This is just the con man. It's the setup guy. But of course, we didn't go. I didn't go. But then what was the second one? The second one was we couldn't find a place to stay because like all the hostels were booked for guys. Like they separated. The hostels we went was separate, like one for guys and one for girls. And they didn't save a room so they can be together. So we had to sleep outside. And me and her slept at a bus station stop. And her husband went inside like an apartment building. And we're like, yo, we don't be in an apartment building. What if they call the police on us or something? So we just slept at the bus stop. And some guy comes up to us and he's speaking Spanish. I don't know Spanish that well, but my friend, she knew, she was fluent.
Oh.
So he was talking to us, but she didn't say nothing. And all my Spanish, all I know is how to say yo no entiendo, which just means I don't understand. Right? So he's talking, and I'm like, yo no entiendo, yo no entiendo, yo no entiendo. And then he's like, good, please. I'm like, yo no entiendo. I don't understand why you don't understand. I don't understand. Like, I don't get it. So finally, he leaves, but he comes back with like a half empty bottle of some kind of soda they have in Spain. And it was cloudy white. And I'm like, yo, I'm not drinking that. That could be roofie drug or something like. I'm not doing it. We on alert. I'm like, I'm asking her, what did he say? What did he say? And he said he had a girlfriend who was African. And if we go back to his apartment, he can help us get papers to stay in the country and find us jobs. And I'm just like, what in the do they all think Black people came from Africa? What the fuck? I mean, we did, but still, not today.
Yeah, I will tell you. So you know that Morocco has a border with Spain, which is Europe.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So all African people, they go to Morocco through, and so they can get to Europe.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like Spain is the point, like Morocco is the point where all African comes, and then they try to get there. So you were
Right.
like in hot spot.
Right.
Yeah, but it's.
And I didn't know.
You shouldn't.
I did not know.
I mean, like you shouldn't make people feel that way, or I don't know, just humans.
Every time we're by ourselves, there's some man who wanted to help us stay in the country, and I was just like, I'm trying to get back to America right now. So no. It was crazy. And even when I went to France, it was cool. Like, I didn't know there were so many Black people in France either. This is why we need to go. This is why I'm so interested in other countries, because there's this philosophy that Black people are like in two places, America and Africa, and we're everywhere. We're all over the world.
Yeah.
And when I went to France, I just blended right in. No one thought I was from, like, if they didn't think I was from there, they just thought I was from Africa. And again, of course, my family's from Africa, so I get it. But they never thought I was American, not once, never once. So it's interesting.
Yeah, it's just like there are not too many Americans go. Like maybe 99% of people who go there are coming from like Morocco, and then 1% comes from Africa. So people and I like that the only word you learn in Spain is I don't know, because like, yes, if you don't know language, start with the word I don't know how to speak, because for me, I learn what from English. So so I wasn't able to speak English when I left Yemen. And in the airplane or anywhere, whenever someone speak with me in English, I'm like, what? I'm like, it's you. You don't know how to pronounce it. So that's the difference. Like, you make people you don't speak the language. But for me, you speak with me English from today until tomorrow, I'm gonna keep saying to you what? It's your job. Go find a solution.
I was no, that was the first. I mean, I took Spanish in high school, but if you don't use it, you pretty much you lose it. So, you know, and I just couldn't hold a conversation with anyone. So I wasn't gonna pretend. I was like, "Psh." And the same thing with French. Some woman came up to me and she was what is she asked me for directions in the subway, and I was like, you know, it was like, what is it? I don't understand. Je ne sais pas. That's all I said. Je ne sais pas. But I was there for a week to study it, and if I had stayed longer, I could have picked it up. But I never stayed long enough. So
Yeah,
it's
but
just
you
it's
know,
intriguing.
the reason why I used to say what
Hmm.
is because I try to figure out from the person actions, or are they happy, are they sad. Like, I'm not the kind of person who quit. I don't like feel shy, or like I'm gonna be like give up if someone speak with me in English. I'm like, I don't know. No, that's not me.
I'm giving.
I'm gonna be what, and you have to repeat the sentence with your hands, with your mouth, jump, swim until I get you. So
No,
that's
I'm like, I'm not gonna stay here pretending. I mean, it was rough in France because France, they don't care. They do not care because the two things I learned for French is je ne sais pas and parlez-vous anglais? Do you speak English? Those were the main two things. Because I was like, you know, it's a first world country. Probably a lot of people don't know English, so I just kept saying parlez-vous anglais? They would be like, nope, and just stare at me like, you better speak some French right now because we are not gonna help you. Shit. I was like, fuck. I just was forced, and that was the good thing about France. They force you to speak French. So if you want to learn French, just go there. They will not speak to you in English. So it was good. It was a good trip. I liked it.
yeah, the French are a little bit fanatic with their language.
Mm-hmm. You know, at first I would have been like, you know, they're being too serious, but I actually might agree a little bit because my family's, I keep saying it. My mom went back to Ghana a few years ago, and she's like, people don't really speak the native language anymore. Like it's mainly English because Ghana was kind of colonized by the British Empire.
Mm.
It went through a few rulers: Portuguese, the Dutch, Spain, English, but the English held on. And now she said when she goes back, she can barely speak Tree to people, which is one of the native languages there, because everyone speaks English.
Yeah.
No one is speaking the native language, and it's going to be a dead language eventually because everyone's trying to be American or trying to be English, and it's sad because I know I can't speak it well, because my mom never taught me, and I was raised here. So I can't speak it well. I can understand it. If she speaks to me in it, I can understand it, but I can't respond all the time. And now she's speaking to me more that we're together. I'm like, I know it's a little late, but you know, at least it's something. It's something. It's like Debbie, Mimpet, Mimpet.
Yeah.
You know, she'll ask me if I want to eat it, like Debbie, which means no. You know, do you want this? I was like, Debbie, Mimpet. It's like, no, I don't want it.
Yeah.
So she'll talk to me and stuff, but it does make me sad to see what colonization can do to a country, because I once saw a documentary where a lady was like, if you don't teach the language of your people to each other, your people will kind of lose who they are. And I feel like that's what my mom was trying to kind of saying when she was saying people in Ghana don't really speak the native language as much. Now, I don't know if that's just because she's in the city, and in the city, people are speaking more English because of tourists coming from other countries, so they don't try to speak the native language. But I don't know if that is the same for anyone outside of the city of
Yeah.
Accra, which is the capital. Maybe outside, people are still holding down the languages. They're still speaking Fanti, Ashanti, Akan languages. Ashanti, that's a tribe. Tree, Akan languages. But maybe in the city itself, which is trying to be more of a touristic spot, they are not speaking the languages to make the foreigners feel comfortable. So I don't know. It's a whole thing.
Complicated.
It's a whole thing.
Complicated.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It's complicated.
Like, I do believe that in the future we won't even need languages, and I feel that's part of evolution. That everything always change, and yes, some people now they are like, no, this won't happen, or you shouldn't be like this, because if you talk to your grandfather or about airplanes, it's going to be like so like you tell them there will be hundreds of humans flying in the air, and you can see, like I can, before, if someone died in 3 months to know that he died, because someone has, if he died in like China and or in Australia and his family in the US, they know that he died after like 6 months or 3 months when someone traveled, because they didn't have. So it's like when they know that he's died, they are like, come on, don't be sad. It's been 6 months. Like the person,
Right.
I don't know. Sometimes I like to make fun of things and I'm like, that's emotions as well. So maybe you should.
Right.
Anyway, so I do believe that we want, before we didn't even have language like humans, and then we developed the language. I think that we will be able to have, the machines will be able to know what's in your brain or what's thought. Even in the future now, you will be able to control your TV and your house. You don't even have to talk to Alexa, just by your thoughts. For example, if you want to switch on the hot water, like broke people have to go and switch it manually. People that have money, they might have Alexa, or they can do it from their phone, or they can just talk, Alexa, please switch on. But in the future, it will be just connecting with your brain. I see you are getting weird of me.
No, because there's this TV show on Netflix. I don't know if it's called Black Mirrors. I don't know if that's right. Someone can correct me if they see this. Um, where they talk about things like that, like they're implanting things in your head, so you just think it and then it happens, or it shows your whole day so people can see. So I'm not saying it's wrong. I just started making me think. I feel like this was on a TV show, and that's what they're saying the future is going to be like. I don't know. And I was like, this could happen. This could happen
That's
because I like sci-fi. I grew up watching like Twilight Zone. That was one of my favorite TV shows as I was a kid, the reruns. And it was the first thing that made me think I was okay because I had self issues as a kid. And they had this TV show called Eye of the Beholder, or the episode on Twilight Zone, that really made me think differently about how I looked. And so ever since then, I love the Twilight Zone. And I think the Twilight Zone, the OG episodes, the reruns from Rod Stewart, Rob, I'm saying his name wrong, but they were just so good. And intellectually, I think they really challenged the societal norms of what we think certain things are. And I think that's another reason why I'm so intrigued by certain things. Like there's this one episode called You Look Like the Number 12, where if you were born human, you reached a certain age and they will remove your consciousness or your brain from your body and put it into another body that doesn't age. And I never forgot that episode, because I'm like, what if that could happen? What
yeah,
if they can remove your consciousness from your brain, or remove your brain and just input it into a whole new body, and you lived in that society, you lived to be 200 years old, because the body had been that they put your brain in was so much more, could live longer than the average human body, and it reduced diseases, so you didn't get sick as much, you didn't um, die from certain diseases as much, because that new body was enhanced to protect you from that. And I never forgot that episode, because I was so like, oh my God, what if they could do that? And now you see all these things happening with robots, and the ideology of
yeah.
transference of the mind and things like that. So like that show was just completely groundbreaking, and it's just as relevant today as it was when it first came out. It came out like in 50s, 60s. So yeah, when you're talking about this stuff, I'm just thinking about that. So yeah.
Yeah, it's fascinating because that's what now we are trying to trick death. We are trying. It's like I've been busy the whole day trying with with the team. It's like not dumb people like me. We are trying, but very smart humans. Uh, not me. So yeah, they are trying to trick death, and exactly, like you cannot say no, but it's fascinating that you can live, because what you are saying is that you can move your conscious and your brain to what? Because what comes in my mind is that maybe there is a small kid who they can take his conscious and everything and put your conscious and brain in that body.
Hmm.
Is that what you
Right.
meant?
Yeah, but the bodies are engineered to accept the brain. So it's not like they build bodies for
Oh,
them
oh,
to put the brain in. So they're not saying, oh, so some kid dies and you need
dies.
a body. No, they're actually engineering bodies to accept the human brain so they can live longer, because there was only three models. There's only like four models of the body, two models for the women, two models for the men. So everyone started to look the same. You're either this model or that model, that's it. And it was kind of trying to say, when you create a society where everybody looks the same, everybody is the same, you get a redundancy, and you don't really you have this kind of bland society that doesn't think, that doesn't know how to fight back, that doesn't can't see the difference between beauty, because there's no ugly, because everyone's perfect. So it's crazy.
But wait, the bodies, what are they made of?
They didn't say what they're made of. They just kind of engineered. They just tell you the bodies are engineered. They're
Mm.
kind of like robotic, but they're not. So they don't specify what they are, because it's like a 30-minute episode, I think. So they just tell you they're engineered bodies that are created by scientists to accept the human brain. So that way, but the thing is, they also change your brain, because now you're not really who you were before. They kind of manipulate who you are so you can fit into society and not cause problems. So
Woo!
yeah, it's such a good episode, such a good episode, because the girl is trying to fight it. She's like, how come I can't stay like this? How come I can't just be ugly? And everyone's like, well, don't you want to be pretty? Don't you want people to like you? She's like, you don't like me as I am now. And then they trying to fuck with her and be like, gaslight her, like, no, no, you're fine, but we just want you to be better. She's like, well, I think I'm already better. I'm okay being ugly. And in the episode, they talk about her father unalived himself because he didn't like what was happening. And she's trying to struggle. She's struggling with society trying to make her beautiful when she's okay being who she is. I love Twilight Zone. It was so good. And I think I think maybe that's what we struggle with, the ugly of our world, and try to make force kind of beauty, a standardized beauty on the world. You know, it's real. It was such a good episode. Got to see it if you got the internet, which you do.
Yeah, well, it's just
So,
sometimes I feel like my brain switch off when I'm talking about not switch off, start to panic. That's why I like to do more real things. Like I like
mhm.
to focus on things which I can control. Okay, now I had conversation with you and that's it. But some people spend their life on conspiracy theories and I feel like the brain cannot handle it. And I think that comedy, I don't want to say the only thing, but one of the things that you cannot see and touch, but it's real.
Mhm.
Um, so when I do my comedy, you know that comedy you have to tell people something and then you have to bring something that makes sense, but they didn't expect that it's coming. So that's how
Mhm.
they laugh. So for me, I first shock them with Yemen, some things from Yemen, and they didn't see it coming. So from the beginning, sometimes I bomb, but I feel like it's working when I keep working on my premises, because I
Right.
say to the people, I put them in, and they are like already like, wow, what the fuck is going on in this life? You know? And then what happened from this thing, like weird things in Yemen, uh, is something that's weird and funny, but makes sense.
Mhm, mhm.
So that's how I try to make most of my jokes, is to bring things from Yemen or about me. And it doesn't like, people are like, this is different perspective, different point of view. And then I try to bring something that they didn't see coming, but it makes sense and it's funny. And I try
Right.
to put some humility, like you should be lucky. Some other people look how they are, like fucked. I try to avoid the F word, but I don't have enough vocabulary. English is not my first. So how about you?
Um, in regards to comedy and how people see me, like shocking them.
Or what's your strategy? What are you working on?
Well, I try to, I don't know, I just talk about what I think is funny, which I don't know if it's a good thing from what I've learned. I don't always try to shock folks. I don't try to. I just think I want to talk about stuff I think is important or relevant. But I don't know if anyone think it's important. Like people, I don't. I'm like I wrote this joke. You've heard it probably 100 times about like the president, me and my mom arguing about Biden being the next president, and I think it's funny because so many people are like not don't want him to be president because you know a lot of older people are not concerned about the needs of younger folks. They're kind of like all about themselves, it feels like. And you can see a lot of people not being happy with it. So I wanted to write about it, write kind of a joke about it. And it does good sometimes and it doesn't. But I like to kind of do things that make people aware about stuff or at least think about it, even if it's in a joke form. So I do like that stuff. But I also like to just talk about stuff that I feel is interesting. But I don't know if it always hits. Like I'm trying this new joke out about a guy I used to date who wanted to borrow money from me and promised to pay me back. And I notice every time I do that joke, guys always laugh. And I'm like, it's not funny. But it's funny
It's
because men are always laughing because like, yeah, I use that on my girl too. Type of thing. So it's interesting. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like whatever I feel like is interesting to talk about or kind of
yeah,
put out there. I don't have a strategy. I feel I only like talk about what I think I know about or what I'm interested in, and then I do the structures. Then I go through the structure, punchline, set up, punchline, and go from there.
yeah.
So I don't know if I'm a shock value person.
I think we are doing the craziest. Like, not the okay. This is joke, and it might be true. So you know, Putin. Do you know
Yeah,
Putin?
I know Putin. I
Have you
know
met
Putin.
him?
Huh?
Have you met him in comedy club? He's comedian.
Oh no, I'm
No,
sorry.
I'm
No,
joking.
I have not met. I
I'm
said,
talking about. So
from
we are,
Russia?
yeah. So we are talking the president of Russia, Putin. So he has another plan, crazier plan than doing war, which is he wanna start. He wanna be stand-up comedian. So, but you know, the crazy thing is that we are really doing something that has no guarantee, has no structures, has no, like, yes, there is a setup punchline. You have to misdirect people, but it's not that simple. You need to find
Right,
your way of setting
right.
up people. You need to find your way of surprising people with your voices. Your So we are doing something like, it's just crazy. Like, also when you talk with other comedians, when I do my podcast, and as you said at the beginning, nobody knows who will make it. But it's exciting with the COVID that all comedians, we get to see each other now. Like
Yes.
I go to all the Zooms, open mics, most of them, and I
Mhm.
got to see too many comedians. So hopefully in the future, like we'd be like, I know him, I was with him in Joke Zoom.
No, definitely. I think that's the best thing about COVID is that we got to kind of see more people we probably wouldn't have seen if we had to stay in our areas or travel more. So I think that's like a really good thing.
Yeah, I will maybe let you go as
All right, then.
you
It's
have.
good talking to you, Milad.
No, you are.
Milad.
It's. I always enjoy good interactions with people like you. It makes me feel so happy, and I just enjoy it so much. So thank you for giving me the opportunity.
No problem. Thank you. I'll see you in open mic
Yeah,
Zoom.
you are the host tomorrow for me because now it's Thursday for me.
Uh,
So I will see you tomorrow, and you will see me after tomorrow. That's also
okay.
weird. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
No problem. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.